here, there are, I said, four major attractions here. No? From the top, we have the teatro and the dance troupe. The dance troupe of Nine Filipino is rated now the best in the country. All right. And then to the left of that is the Weaves. I tell you, the Weaves Museum of the Nine Filipino is, I think, the best, among the best in the world. I went to Bradley 2 years ago to see the Weaves Museum of the Nine Filipino. They had only around 8 pieces. We have 1,300 here. And the best specimen on Philippine weaves is that of Nine Filipino. Now, another thing, of course, we have the villages here. Okay? And then we have the villages and we have what we call the orchidarium. Now this orchidarium is really very, very unique in the sense that we create our own orchids. As I said, we have created 45 varieties in 3 years. Our closest competitor really in propagation is Singapore. Singapore creates, on the average, 1 variety a year. We produce 15. In a matter of time, we overtake them. Okay, so that is the overview. Now, another thing is, why was it relocated to Clark? They needed the land in Pasay for the airport expansion. I will tell you, it's wrong. But nevertheless, there are other reasons that I don't know, probably that's why they took our land. And so, we are here to revive Nine Filipino. Alright, what are our targets? Actually, when I came here in 2010, the order was to close the park. But then as I was looking at the map, actually I was looking at the eyes of the employees that will have an employee. And then I was thinking, I'm so sure we can build a park so beautiful. There's nothing like it in Southeast Asia. And so unique that this is the only one here in the Philippines. And I think we succeeded. So we told the board, give me 3 years. I will turn it around. It was really a brave proposition because when I came here in 2010, they lost 50 million already. And cannot be sustained. And so in 2012, we were allowed to rebuild the park when we renew our contract with CDC. And with all pride, I will tell you, the landscaping here that you can see was finished only in 8 weeks. The value of the plants that was placed here is 10 million pesos. But 9 million of that were raised in our nurseries in Pasay. So we built a 10 million landscape with 9 million savings. The physical rehabilitation was only 9 weeks. The Kalinga was only, was only 35 days. We work here from 5 in the morning until 10 in the evening. And so in those highly charged months, in 4 months, Nine Filipino took shape. So what is our market? Our market is basically Luzon. And we have succeeded at that. Before, people would always go to Manila. There's nothing to see in Manila. Number 2, if you are organizing a school tour of 20 buses, once you enter EDSA, you won't see each other. And it takes 3 hours to go to Manila from EDSA, and 3 hours to come back, so 6 hours ka na, naubos na. There's nothing more left. Okay? So, our target is Luzon. And if you can see on the map, we are getting visitors from Ilocos Norte all the way to Davao. In Luzon, talagang binuhay namin yung consciousness ng Luzon market. We're getting a lot of visitors from Baguio, a lot from Pangasinan, from Nueva Ecija, from Nueva Vizcaya, Metro Manila, as far as Bicol. So, word has spread. You come to Clark, you will see a beautiful place. So that is our target. And I think we are now. What is the average your tourist arrival? In 2014, we are averaging 175,000. It's very, very high. We will reach that one. As I said, we are now moving beyond the 500,000 mark. In what way they promote ang Filipino? Oh, kami po ay walang pera pa. Ano? So, we ride on goodwill. So, unang magang kay ganda, they saw this very beautiful, they came there twice. And that really gave a boost to ang Filipino. Now, you know, GMA, I think we are carried by all the TV stations. 5, 3, maybe the others, no? TV44, ganon. We are the darling practically of all the photo shoots. Binibining Pilipinas came here for our visit. They stayed until 6 o'clock in the evening. The hot air balloon pilots came here for lunch. 12 to 1. Alas 5:30 na ng hapon, nandito pa rin. Okay? Alright. 700 ENT doctors came here for dinner. 6 to 8. Alauna ng umaga, nandito pa rin. So we really operate on word of mouth. We also maximize the Facebook, Twitter, ganon. Because every time they would see that's true. People, thousands of people will have their photos, and it's reflected to the Facebook. No? So social media were very strong. Of course, we have Punto, we have occasional newspapers, but since these are very expensive, we lean more to yung libre. Alright? What are the strategies that you use to promote in Filipino? I will discuss that. Social media, word of mouth. Word of mouth is the best way to promote. That's why we really keep this very, very clean. Now, in what way do you showcase those attractions to the potential markets? Well, basically, we have a lot of factors. When you are marketing, you study your market. 50% of our market are students. The key to bring those students here are the regional directors of the clinic. Because all tours must be approved. So you must convince these regional directors that we have here a scientific, cultural, and educational part. And God, thanks be to God, all of them were really impressed. I mean, I want you to go around, like, look, you go to the orchidario, you will see a film on how we make orchids. And you can see orchids in bottles by the thousands. You can actually pollinate your orchid. And then you see very rare orchids. So in effect, we are a scientific organization also. Look at our museum. Our museum contains the best artifacts. Kung weaves lang, I would compete anywhere in the world. Now, all over the world, when you go to a museum, you can see artifacts. You cannot touch them. So here the same, but what we did, we integrated it. No? So if you notice it, after you enter the museum, when you go out, number 6 is Laro Aral. What is Laro Aral? It is a sector where some of the replica of some of the artifacts are there. So you are even taught how to use them, how to wear them. You can wear them. So experience mo talaga, no? So while we're wearing them, photo. And they surprised, no? I know of a tourist, or many tourists, who are bragging. You see, director, I took this photo 5 minutes ago, it's now on Facebook. So, ganon. And then, we planted the diaries. What are diaries? DYE. Ito po yung mga kahoy na ginamit na ating mga ninuno para kumuha ng kulay, para kulayan yung yung fiber ng abaca para makaproduce sila ng mga costumes na may kulay. So when we tell the kids, alam mo, nakita mo yung pula? O ito po yung puno na kinunan nila ng pula. Yung bingkoro, yung aswete, yun. Nakita mo purple, o ito po yung puno, duhat. Dito ginawa yung purple. The effect is electric. Sabi ng mga bata, ngayon sir, mahalin na namin yung kahoy. Because if we just tell them, plant trees and nothing else, it becomes a burden. Pero when they saw the magic of a colorless abaca coming out into one of the most colorful costumes, and because the color is the trees outside, pwede na, ay sir, magtanim na kami ng kahoy. Yeah. So, in the dance too, hindi lang sila manunood, may audience participation. Also, somehow, they get a part of our culture, natututo din sila kahit na tinikling. So, yun po yung attractions. These are our strategies to promote and at the same time to be remembered. I tell you, if you go abroad and you either wear one of those costumes or you participated in one of the dances, you will remember the part better. Nasa lumakad ka lang at tinutulak-tulak ang ibang tourist tayo. Alright. What are the region's attractions that you're facing in I'm Filipino? We actually are slowly being down at the regional, but we're more specific, like Kalinga, Apayao, the Ifugao, the Aitas, the Maranao, and the mainstream Castilian influence, Spanish influenced areas. In what way do we showcase our structure to your potential markets? As I said, we use the social media, we use the print, the radio, kasi ang radio, kasi marami pa rin sa radio eh. And most especially, word of mouth. We also send flyers, tens of thousands of them, to all the hotels, to the tour operators, to the schools. Twice a year, we have 2 farm tours, familiarization tours with the tour operators, para makita nila, ay, ang ganda na pala. See? And that's it. Are we successful? Yes. When I came, I think the arrival was around what? 30,000. As I said, we are now averaging 200,000. We are close to 500,000. So I think we convince people. What can you say about the current marketing of I'm Filipino? Satisfactory, but it can be improved if only our board will allow high-end advertisement like billboards. It's expensive. It will cost us 6 million a year. It's a billboard. That's why we cannot convince them. But if only we can, put billboards, I think more. Pero mabait ang Diyos sa amin. Wala ka kami pera ng pang-billboard. Yung MacArthur Highway, I hope you saw that. We were allowed by the barangay of Balibago to put our giant posters. So cube po yun, cube for 1 whole year. So I don't know how many people passes by that place, pero siguro tens of thousands. So ganun po yun. And that saved us 160,000 pesos a month. Kasi yung mga billboard, ang pinakamura dyan is 30 eh. 30 to 60 to 18,000. Napakamura po ang billboards. Tapos, what are your future plans in promoting I'm Filipino? Well, we are strengthening the more successful ones. And as I said, we might, it will be more of strengthening the visits to the hotels, schools, the officials, more aggressive. So we intend to, we've been distributing this to the hotels, so when the guests will come, they will see this one. Kasi there is still a lingering comment, pupunta ka sa park, wala kang makita. But once they see I'm Filipino, they spend for 5 hours here. So, of course, we are building one I Filipino in Manila Bay. We are building an I Filipino in the Green City, 50 hectares yun. We are expanding very fast. So if you want to join I Filipino, it's a very good career. Our pay is 30% higher than the standard salary rate of the government.
Pag po, nagbukas yung saan po kasi? Parang nakakala. Hindi po isasara yung
Hindi.
branch na branch.
Because this will be different na Filipinos. So I showed you, that's why I'm glad you came. Dito wala kang makita manubo, wala kang makikita tibuli. Because this is really terrestrial. Yun doon kasi malapit sa dagat at saka may ebb and flow yung dagat. So may storms, we are using the Mars people. People who are living in the Mars land. People who are living by the coastal plains. So you're talking about the Badyaw, you're talking about the Manubo, we're talking about the subset ng Manubo. Para tataas man yung tubig Manila Bay, hindi masisira yung part, tataas rin sila, magbababa, tataas yung pagkat. So, na Filipino, yes, but they are different. As I said, there are 174 kinds of Filipinos. A lot of tribes to display.
Iba-iba po yung iso-showcase nila. So,
yung mga tourists niyo po dito, marami din po mga foreigner na
Oh, yes.
nag-enjoy naman po sila.
I think so. Because you see, kukunti lang naman talaga to operators who handle nila sila Koreans. Market nila yan. And they're very happy with us. Sometimes, Shara, you would be shocked. School children from Korea, yung buong klase, they're flown to the Philippines. And they are told here, dito, to know about the Philippines. Just imagine these people have all the money to travel to the Philippines and know about us. And they like it here. Number one, if you go kasi to the original villages, run down yung dito, pure pa rin, mas bago, pure. Number two, if you go to the original villages, may makita na ka lang mga sachet, mga shampoo, gano'n. Dito, automatic, ano pa talaga, I would say, it's natural form. And it's well maintained. Well maintained, very secure. So, yes, you'll be surprised, We say the dance troupe is 9, 11, and 2. 1:30 sometimes walang tao. 10 to 2, puno na yung hall. So, they know, and I asked them, how did you know? No, in Taipei, in Korea, in Hong Kong, in Guangdong, we know already. 11 and 2 cultural dance here. So, we come to see cultural dance. Yun. Pag nakita ng cultural dance, nakikita nila yung museum, nakita ko kinaryo, oo po na yan. Alas 5 ng hapon, nandito pa yan.
everyday naman po may mga pumupuntang tourists.
Oo. Oo.
Kasi,
Thank you po.
Okay, so I do hope, ano ba kayo, 4th year na?
Third year pa lang.
Third year. As I said, many people came here already to make their thesis, and what they did was only to write what I told them. And they got A's. I do hope and pray that you will also come back and say, Sir, AD kami, sir.
pero may continuation pa po yung thesis namin kasi yan sa summer. Baka babalik din po kami dito.
Yeah, there will be more to see. You heard me talk to GMA. In 2 hours, iba na ang appearance